So, welcome back to, this is episode 3, I think, Riffrunners. We have another one that I believe is going to just continuously be bumped to which decimal point it is. It was 1.5 and then it was 2.5, and now it might be like a 2.75 or 3.5. I don't know. It goes somewhere in the middle, and who really cares? Time is a weird soup. So, This is episode 3, which I have labeled in my notes as 4. So yes,
you do.
Yes, this is platform 9 3/4 for everybody. So gonna go ahead and do the headlines here. I only have one because you guys did one thing that was public. At least your knitting circle wasn't public, at least not yet. There's no flyers yet. So one and only headline here is Scorched and Divorced. House Lorington's string of misfortunes continue this week. Genevieve filed for divorce. Geraldo lost his high-ranking Soulforge position after a major security breach, and their estate suffered a fire. Although the blaze was extinguished before causing major structural damage, the landscaping was completely scorched, leaving behind strangely decorated charred tree husks and a lone statue that those in the scene described as tasteful yet erotic. Some art enthusiasts speculate, that's you, yes, speculate this may be the work of the infamous anarchist artist Figaro, known for provocative redecorations. If true, the estate's value could actually rise despite the damage. The Lamplighters assure the public that arson was definitely 100% not involved. However, they urge residents to remain vigilant and report any suspicious dregs, especially those from Crypt Market, even if the suspicion falls onto oneself. Donations to aid House Lorington through these trying times can be sent to the address provided. And I do also have a musical version of this as well, brought to you by the operatic singing frog in a top hat. Enjoy.
Oh no.
Scorched and divorced,
Yeah, that's good.
String of misfortunes continued this week. Genevieve filed for divorce. Geraldo lost his high-ranking soul fortune after a major security breach, and their estate suffered a fire, although the blaze was extinguished before, causing major structural damage. The landscaping was completely scorched, leaving behind strangely decorated charred tree husks and a lone statue that those on the scene described as tasteful yet erotic. Some art enthusiasts speculate this may be the work of the infamous anarchist artist Figaro, known for provocative redecorations. If true, the estate's value could actually rise despite the damage. The Lamplighters assure the public that arson was not involved. However, they urge residents to remain vigilant and report any suspicious dregs, especially those from Crypt Market, even if the suspicion falls on oneself. Donations to aid House Lorington through these trying times can be sent to the address provided.
Okay.
So
Yes.
what hit me was I'm like, oh, this is fun, this is cute. It wasn't until just before the line tastefully erotic that I realized I'm like, oh shit,
Like,
we're
here
gonna
it
hear
comes.
that line.
And he
And I'm
emphasized
like,
it too.
oh no. Like the rest of it was
Fantastic.
fine, and then that line hit, and I'm like,
Like, oh no.
Well, I saw Sarah going like this.
yeah, that was it was the moment of like, oh shit.
Did you guys ever get the J.G. Wentworth 877 Cash Now commercials?
Oh, it sounds familiar, actually.
It does, but
Yeah.
That's what the song sounded like. He's like, J.G. Wentworth,
oh, funny.
877 Cash Now.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, now you say that. Yeah.
So it was brought to you by a commercial, apparently, too. So
there you go.
yeah, there you go. So I'll put that lovely audio file into the Discord later. And
Amazing.
Wow.
yes,
Asian Connection commercials.
I should make random jingles. I think now. Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be great. Make
right?
jingles for like products in your game too.
Oh,
That just
we
like
needed some
randomly go
way-
off.
That's a really good.
We needed
thing.
some way to be
Oh,
able to
I see.
like, throw red roses onto a stage for that one. Like that was the only proper response.
yes.
right?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that feels
Yes.
necessary.
It feels like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, right?
I was just gonna say
And,
that.
like, it really does.
Extremely.
Yes. Also, when he said Figaro, I was like, oh yes, this is the one.
The Marriage of Figaro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I almost went back and had him repeat it like 5 more times. I was like, no, just, all right. They get it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
heard it, but I didn't get it.
You didn't get it? Okay. It's okay. Talk later.
No.
All right.
What's it from?
The Marriage of Figaro.
It's
It's a opera.
It's an opera.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's
Figaro,
like one
Figaro,
thing
Figaro,
that I know
Figaro,
nothing
Figaro.
about.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why I named the artist Figaro. Just to
okay.
sneak it in
Okay.
somehow. I was like, I have to somehow get it in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you named it that. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cart before the horse. I was thinking the other way around, but yeah,
It was a
that
little
makes
both,
sense.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the style and I was like, yep, changing the name of that. Yeah. Anyways, all right, we're moving on to our Bungie log recap. Everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Bungie's log entry number 2. Things are pretty chaotic right now, but I'm writing this down while our grand heist continues. I'm now hearing a bird-like voice announcing some embarrassing facts about the Blue Water Man. Wowzer, purple-skinned woman sure knows how to pack a punch, and Ferris uses her scarf like a weapon. Now one of the landscapers is helping us. Ferris and I have finished decorating the estate, and Ferris even decorated our carriage, so it's time to go. Oh, Blue Water Man changed a statue to look like him. I think this guy has some serious self-esteem problems. Now the purple-skinned woman is setting the place on fire, and the glamorous woman doesn't look so glamorous anymore. I think she might want to kill us. Oh, we gotta go now. But Cow takes her finger. That's kind of gross, but it has a pretty ring on it. Everything is happening so fast. I'll write more later. I'm back. Things have settled down now, thanks to some mysterious fog from Ferris. I finally learned the purple-skinned woman is called Eloise, and the Blue Water Man is Locke, and the landscaper is Seamus. I think Locke is inebriated, and Seamus is possessed by a friendly ghost. This is a very confusing adventure. We went to Zazmataz and met a man named Zaz. He actually paid us for having fun. Locke mixed a drink for Ferris called Spicy Candy Cane Surprise.
That's right.
I wonder what's in it. I didn't ask because I'm not sure if Locke is a friend or not. I also suspect that Ferris has some secret awakened power because she caused this really scary guy named Killabill to start sobbing like a baby. There were lots of people that looked at us like we were weird or something. I can't imagine why. Kel gave us some magical business cards with the address of our very own super clandestine meeting. It's called Luster. Is that mysterious or what? Sounds like more content for my novel. I'll write more when our adventure continues, but for now, I think we need to rest a little before going to Luster and meeting Kel.
More after these messages. Fantastic. You included that I totally forgot about, so thank you very much for that. You have a
you
lot of
forgot about
details
it?
and
Yeah.
all the names and details and stuff like is very helpful, honestly. Like I forgot about you got the name of the drink. Like, all right. Very good.
I had to listen to the video for that. Yeah. That's one problem though, is my note taking is not that accurate. You know, I don't, and so I have to go back to the video, and of course listening to video to get information is hard, right? Because you got to find the right spot and all that.
Yeah.
I got to figure out a way to be more efficient with that because it takes a long time to go through the video.
I mean, you can get a transcription if
I
you
can
want.
try to type to them also.
Sorry, what did you say? Locke? I mean, Eric?
I was just saying, like, if I come up with something that gets used, probably there'll be more drinks in the future. I could just also type that, like, in chat.
Oh, whenever you create
yeah,
a name
oh,
of a thing.
yeah.
That's true. Whenever you make a name of something,
Yeah.
just put it in chat real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Or like a character name, like we probably just somebody could just type that down real
That'd be
quick.
very helpful.
And then that would probably make it easier.
Right.
for
Or
you.
put it on the
like-
Roll20 sheet. Also helps too.
Yeah.
Right? There's a whole blank side,
Yeah, that's
right-hand
true.
side. You just kind of just put it over there, and that works too. Yeah. That's a good point. Whenever we make up a name on the fly, or if I make up a name on the fly, because I'm not making notes, I'm just talking constantly. I
What
cannot
is
type
easier?
and talk, so
What's easier, to put it into Roll20 or into Discord
I'd say
for everybody?
Roll20, because Discord has other messages that happen throughout, right? Whereas Roll20 is just gameplay.
Oh, that's
So,
true.
right?
Yeah.
And then you can erase it probably next game session because won't be as relevant.
Right. Yeah.
Or put it off in the corner somewhere or something, right? You want to keep it around longer. But yeah. All right. Also, just a heads up, my throat has been going out every night for the last week. I turned into a frog around 8:30.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, and then or a couple nights I've just entirely lost my voice and I can't even say anything around 9:30, 10 o'clock. So we'll see how this goes.
Especially because you'd be talking more.
Yes.
So should we talk more and you not talk as much?
Oh, it's fine. Oh, that didn't sound good. We'll see. But I mean, it is what it is. If I can no longer talk anymore, then we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to stop because it hurts,
It doesn't usually
don't
hurt.
push yourself
my
too
voice
much.
just goes which is weird. So
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know every single time I get sick, that is exactly what happens. I don't have a sore
Yeah.
throat or anything. I just cannot talk.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
All right.
Huh.
So before we continue your story, another is happening at the same time somewhere else. Graham Guilford gasps for breath as his head comes up above the bucket of water for who knows how many times, the bindings on his wrists cutting in deeper as he reflexively tries to steady himself, his vision swimming as is thumped on the back. He's thumped back into his chair by an enforcer. Across from him, arms crossed and looking none too pleased, was a beast of a man who was almost as wide as he was tall, Aemond Lamplighter himself, something that under normal circumstances Graham would consider a great honor. You can't honestly expect me to believe that the whole lot of you couldn't stop a small group of petty thieves. With all the training my department gave you, even if you did go turncoat and become private security, not only not stop them, but allow both the Lamplighter and the Lorrington name to be quite literally dragged through the mud. I mean, have you seen Genevieve? She's a mess, man. He pulls out a carving knife and begins to cut a piece of fruit in his hand as he speaks, the signature of all villains everywhere, making very deliberate cuts that send a clear message. Sorry, sir, but you don't understand. They were different. I could have sworn they had powers or something. Then their leader, he acted like knocking over the great house was nothing. Aemond growls at him and begins to flick pieces of the fruit at Graham's face the longer he talks before Graham eventually shuts up. Do you understand the damage this does to the balance? The sewer drags are gonna think they can just come uptown and take what they want. Oh, you better believe someone's going to be punished for this. You said someone hit you on the back of your head while you were facing the thieves. That means that someone from the estate was working with them. Tell me who, damn it. Graham remains quiet, head bowed, surprisingly. Aemond lunges forward in a flash and buries the knife in Graham's leg, making him scream in pain. Name, Graham, I won't ask again. Graham remains quiet, and Aemond lunges with the knife again, but this time it is flicked away by a floating sword that zips out of the darkness in a flash. If you're done playing with your food, Aemond, some of us would actually like to make some progress here while you're wasting my time. A figure steps out of the shadows of the room, her long purple hair nearly grazing the dirty floor, an ornate cup of steaming drink in her hand. She waves her other hand, and the overly long sword pushes Aemond backwards, sending him and the chair skidding backwards and out of the way, making him give an indignant grunt. She gracefully sits down in a chair that forms out of smoke under her and calmly crosses one booted leg over the other. She reaches over and removes a black glove and hovers her hand where Graham was stabbed, and black smoke pours out and into the wound, causing it to heal and close. If Aemond here wasn't so well connected and good at covering his tracks, he'd be on the next prison barge out of here instead of threatening you with fruit. Some of us have standards. I actually admire you for not wanting to turn your fellow house staff members in to be the mercy, or lack thereof, of Aemond Lamplighter himself, despite them bashing you in the back of the head. Loyalty is rare in this world, because it usually gets you hurt or killed. However, it's your lucky day. Now, I can ensure that you get out of here safely, and even give you and your family a special pass to get off Zol and to go to one of the other curse shards. You see this emblem right here? You know what this means, right? She taps an emblem on her jacket. That I have the power to do as I say. I just need you to answer one question for me. She pulls out a wanted poster and holds it up. Where do you think I could find Kel Aster? Always in trouble with that one.
It's going to be so romantic when they meet up again. I can just imagine.
All right, so you guys left off in Razzmatazz in a knitting circle.
Yep.
Is that what we're doing?
Knitting Circle Book Club.
Knitting Book Club, sorry, my mistake.
Yeah.
It's always a combination with Ferris. I just always assume.
Yeah.
And several others have begun to make their way over to the group, both confused at what's happening and also strangely intrigued, considering that this is a very seedy dive bar in deep in the crypt market, and that's not really things people do. Usually, needles are used for making voodoo dolls, maybe, or maybe repairing clothes sometimes, but usually not. You just kind of just wear the dirty clothes around. And they have kind of formed this very large circle with you guys, and there isn't that many of them. There's only about 4, but that's more than anyone else would expect, I would say.
I'll take it.
And so you have, your group of 4, as well as these 4 people as well, and you kind of move the tables off to the side a bit, and you kind of have this just chairs circle here, like it's an AA meeting, which is ironic because it's a bar. And you have Killa Bill, who you met already. You also have Bareneckel Barnes, Wraithlock Vax, and Slaughterbones Jane. So
Somebody want to put those in there?
I can do that because they're my names. I think I should probably be responsible for my own names.
Yeah.
I'll put it in.
At least
Okay. Yeah, those.
I'll put it in
And that's your
Discord.
favorite.
It's faster for me to do Discord right now.
Yeah, whatever's faster. Yeah.
Than tabbing. But yeah. And yeah.
What's Sarah laughing at?
They have posted something in
picture?
Discord that's very funny.
And just real quick, drop those in so you can see have spellings and whatnot. Not that's a big deal. You spelled my NPC's name wrong. Whatever. Okay.
Look, I could try to type them there, but if you want them spelled correctly, this is the way to go.
I do. So.
These are great names.
They are.
And as she does, Ferris has been trying to get to know everyone extra good here, and as well as kind of trying to figure out what their deal is, what makes them tick, what drives them, and she really wants to know what they need, right? What is that what their heart desires kind of thing.
Her concerns are probably starting to be clouded slightly because the next holiday on her planet is coming up, and this one does have a very romantic overturn to it. And
Really?
to the point where it's a biological imperative for her species.
Yeah.
Yes. What did it? Oh Lord! See, I need to remember what I call things too, don't I?
It's
Yes.
hard.
So, right. So it's the Precious Memories picnic. This.
It's so
So
quaint.
this is what's.
It's so
I know, right? For what is definitely not.
You can go picnicking.
But this, we're all going to go picnicking. But this is the holiday where it's probably the most in demand by the tourist industry, and they're also probably the most selective. But this is definitely when Eloise's dad came to Sugar Pine 9 and met Ferris's mom.
Makes sense. So do you want to try and suss out then, Ferris, what everybody's like need is, right?
Absolutely. And if I can create a love match here, that would definitely be the cherry on top. If at least two of these people are not secretly carrying a torch for each other, she is going. Well, actually, she's probably going to ignore it and attempt to connect them anyway.
To start a bonfire.
Could I attempt to boost her if this uses a overcome?
Yeah, I think that's an overcome, and I'll give you a boost from that. So that means that
You can actually roll for a boost,
you
right?
roll for a boost. Yes. So Locke, that means you basically do the equivalent of an overcome in terms of dice, and then what the number rolled is, take the mid number, and then that'll be the amount that you boost her by.
And what skill would I use to boost?
Whatever one you think is applicable.
That's for you to figure out. Right?
I'm gonna ply her with nice drinks and ply the other people drinks.
Okay.
So that it gets them talking more.
Yeah.
And helps her out. So I'll use my transmutation power.
Oh, to like make the
That
drinks, you mean?
works. Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I'm trying to see. I mean, I guess I could try to just charm the bartender letting me mix drinks in the first place.
You could also just use charm as part of the conversation as you're going to be engaging in as well.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right.
Makes way more
Sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Let's do
Yeah.
that. I forgot we use real dice in this game.
Yeah, we do.
I have my real dice, but they're not at the ready.
It's okay.
So just stand by.
We'll just shun you.
I'm grabbing them. Okay, that works too. All right, so it's a D10. I take it this can be one charming son of a bitch because kind of what it is.
Yep.
So there's a 10. That's a D8, and then I'm no longer hurt, or am I still hurt? I haven't actually gotten any better.
You have so health
I think
is
I'm
only
still in yellow.
health is only recovered when we say so. So which we will get to
So
shortly.
I'm in yellow
Yes.
still. All right, cool. Let's see what happens here. All right, that was really. That was 2 1s and a 6.
Oh,
Strong start. Yeah, 2 1s I got.
So you can
the
either
mid was a 1.
Yeah, okay. So that means it's still
This boost went
it's
poorly.
still a +1. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, you can't hurt
Yeah,
her
that's fine.
by trying to boost her. So
Right.
so Ferris, go ahead and
Okay.
give me an overcome with a +1.
Okay. So,
I tried.
Yeah.
hey, it's, you know what? For something low stakes, this is good.
Yeah, and you
yeah.
So it's,
go ahead.
yeah, so I'm using my expert matchmaker. I think, was I in?
Wow.
I think my sheet may have adjusted itself because I could have sworn I was in yellow.
You were all in yellow, but that was
We were all- that was because of
Because of the
right,
zone.
okay.
the
My,
environmental.
health,
Yeah,
my
the
health
zone.
never actually,
Yes.
my health never actually went yellow. Okay,
Yes.
good.
I know it's kind of confusing.
Nope, that's good. That explains things. I'm good now. And this is probably kind of that like precognition that she just kind of has, where it's just
Intuition.
right.
I just
it's
had an
with her
idea
people
before,
skills.
before Sarah rolls.
Yeah.
If Ferris wants to go to Bungie and ask him to see if he sees any secret notes or anything like that, he's got an investigation skill. He would probably have to roll 4 for his power, but he could do for his quality, he could do investigation and look for, maybe a love note or.
You know, Sherlock Holmes is like.
Yes.
What?
Okay.
Gonna
So
show, like,
as
look
a
at all the
bonus,
details, like, yeah.
as a boost.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
here's what I want. Ferris is going to go to Bungie at some point while she's like showing one of them how to hold knitting needles correctly, because right now they are holding them like they're about to stab somebody, and she's like, no, you like, yeah, I know it doesn't feel right, but trust me, Bungie, could you be a dear and could you run into the restroom and grab me some paper towels? Somebody spilled something over here. And I want Bungie to look at the walls in the bathroom to see if anybody has drawn like a heart with names in it.
Ooh,
Oh, that's amazing.
very
yeah.
cool.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So that I'm going to call that investigation. My power, I'm not going to use a power because I don't see a power makes any sense. So that's a D4.
You don't have a bathroom style power? That's weird.
No, I don't.
You mean the
Yeah.
non-biologic doesn't have experience?
I mean,
with
I could
veterans?
really push it and try to use inventions with, secret powder or something, but that just seems like pushing it way too far.
You don't need.
But I do have, if we're in, let's see, I think I'm still in yellow, so that's a D8. Okay,
If you
well,
had like some sort of binocular type things, you could zoom in on the
Bring your
heart,
binoculars into the
see what the
bathroom.
letters are.
Yeah.
right, an
Or
investigation.
something.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What did you say? What did you say?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying you could have like those kind of like, what are they called? Like the jeweler loops, that like zoom out, so you can zoom in.
Oh,
things.
right,
So, like, if you
right.
saw something written, it would like
Something
make it
really small
bigger
or something. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like make it
Like
huge.
what kind of
so you
knife
could see
made
it.
this, and who has that kind of knife, right?
Okay, I'm guessing that's probably pushing it
I
too
think
much.
that's pushing it too much. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. See what I get. Okay, so I'm trying to boost. So it's a 1.
All right. So we have. All right. So you have 2 ones. Hey, your friends are trying. They're not very good at this.
They are.
I rolled a 1, and a 3.
I
So
love it.
yeah.
I love the heart is there, even if our dice
Yeah.
don't feel it for
We're-
us.
Yeah.
We are.
If I also get a 1,
You can try something if you want to try to do something.
If you can think of something to somehow boost her.
Let's do it. Let's make a love match here, guys. We're gonna have a wedding.
So I'm trying to think of what I would have found.
Yes, come on, guys. We're gonna make
So-
Trevor have to like spontaneously hold a wedding in this horrible dive bar. Let's do this.
Is
Okay.
Bare Knuckle Barnes a guy or a girl?
A guy,
Yes.
and Vax is a girl, and Jane is a girl. So it's guy, girl.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
it would be flipped.
I'm just thinking he would
James girl.
Find
I
a
want
little thing.
I'm hoping for Bill and Barnes personally.
Maybe J plus B or something for Jane and Barnes.
Ah, okay. You roll the initials. All right.
With a little heart around it.
All right. Well, I will inform you of what the result. Oh, is Eloise doing something to try and
Also-
help with the sussing out of what they require?
Yeah.
All that stuff. What are you trying to do?
but she's gonna do it in her way.
What's that look like?
So, like, I'm assuming, like they're talking, because, like, I'm sure Eloise is just fascinated by the things that are going on Ferris's island. She's probably just like,
What the?
mind blown.
Yeah.
So she'll probably like attempt to help. So the power that I'm gonna go with is agility. So like moving around and like looking over people's backs, or like seeing like who's looking at who, or if anybody's like doing secret like
Okay. gonna do some, like-
meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah. You're trying to do like some like check in to see who, like spying basically, but you're like they know you're there.
Like imagine a cartoon scene where she's like walking around and like her eyes, like her head's like swiveling around a person to see over their shoulder. Obviously, not really, but Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And then she has a quality that's masked intentions.
Oh.
So maybe she knows what it looks like when people are like trying to hide their feelings.
That makes a lot of sense considering she's all about like her whole planet's about like repressing your emotions and your feelings. So like she's trying to like suss out what they're repressing and not saying, right? She's
Mind
looking for
that
what they're
hidden lust
not
for
saying.
me, girl.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
That's good.
We have
Mind the yearning for me.
Oh my god. Okay. So it's a D6 and 2 D8s. D6, 1. D8, 8. Let's see what the third one is. 6.
Okay, so mid
All right.
Oh wow! So 6 works out to be
Very
2.
good. That's a 2. Yep. Okay, so we have Ferris. You get a +4 to your roll. That's after you pick the mid die, and I'll say what everybody's stuff does depending on what you figure out. I would say probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm rolling 2 D6s and a D8. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, damn. Okay, so I got a 2 and a 6 and a 2.
Oh, we're rolling bad. So it's a 2.
A 2 plus
So it's
4
2.
is a 6.
I don't think you guys have made your proper sacrifices and rituals recently. It sounds like some people have been cutting some corners here.
Yeah.
I have been distracted. I will get on it.
All right. Okay, so that means it's success with a minor twist. So what I will say is that you're able to kind of like.
Did she get to add 4?
She did. It was a 2 plus 4, so 6.
2 plus 4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was not very good, unfortunately. So I'll give you the bad news first, which is going to be the twist.
Okay.
Which is not really a twist, it's more of just a negative, I guess. Which is that there doesn't appear to be any pre-existing, at least, romantic interest between anyone within this group, right?
Okay.
You can work on that, but does not seem to appear to be, like, there's nothing in the bathroom stalls, written on the walls and that stuff, right? There's, there's stuff in there, but none of the people involved here, basically, right? So nothing romantic, at least, unfortunately. However, you do kind of, like, get an inclination based off of everybody's kind of combined efforts for what they kind of are looking for a bit more, right? And so, like, Kill a Bill, for instance, what he really wants is a home-cooked meal. And for someone to really show that they care by putting in the effort, right? He's been going, like, fight to fight his whole life and never settling down and never having, like, a proper meal. Like, it's always been, like, either at, like, a food truck kind of thing, or just, like, some, like, reheated nonsense he puts in the, thing, right? So, and he's always around people who are going to, like, stab him in the back. So, like, it's usually fast food, right? Things you can eat quick.
Yeah.
And doesn't require a lot of, like, time, to, like, eat, right? So he's looking for, like, a hearty home-cooked meal. Bare Knuckle Barnes, is looking for his real name. It's been so long since he's been Bare Knuckle Barnes that he's forgotten what his original name was. And his original name is tied to a different life, a life he had before he got wrapped up in all of, like, the criminal element, basically, right? And he feels that if he could just, hear that name, he could then, like, identify with it again and, like, try and make himself a better person, return back to, like, what he used to be, right? And then you have Wraithlock Vax, who, this is a pretty, I would say you'll be noticing this is a fairly common thing with people in Crypt Market, I would say, based on how Zol was like, is that she's looking for a pet, just like that one guard you met, which I believe was Graham, actually. And I remember who got knocked out and who, whatever, but I'm pretty sure it's Graham. She's looking for a pet to take care of because she's looking to, like, she needs to remember that there's things worth protecting, right, other than her own skin. But she also realizes that, like, she's not ready for, like, a person yet. Like there's, like, human connection as much, like, meaningful human connection. And she needs to start small first, basically, but she wants to get there, right? So this is probably the person you're probably looking for the most, for, like, someone who's looking for more of, like, that deep human connection, but starting with more of an animal companion first, right? And then we have Slaughterbone James, who needs to be allowed to dance without judgment, specifically. She used to dance as a child and loved it, but ever since has had to toughen up and not show any weakness in order to kind of make it around here, right? Criminals don't really take kindly to people who just spontaneously burst into song and dance. Well, not song, I guess, because you can't do that. But it's one of those things that, like, it's not something people do in this area of town, especially, right? Like, people might be dancing, like, uptown, because, like, oh, it's safe and whatnot. But, like, it's an inherent thing that, like, you have to let your guard down. And, like, you won't be seen as, like, scary if you do it, right? Unless you're the Jets.
Oh, my God.
So she needs permission to dance.
She needs permission to dance. There we go.
I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do the phones exist here or not really? Like, people don't really have numbers. Okay, because there's two things that I was wondering if I could add that Bungie sees in the bathroom walls. One of them is call this number for a good time.
8765301.
And yeah,
877 cast down.
Yeah,
Right.
And then the second one is then under that, for a really good time, order the, like, number 11 neat.
Or the number 11 neat.
Now, I have an idea, because when you were describing the soul stones, it reminded me of quantum entanglement. Like, the idea that...
I was going to say the exact same thing, Thea.
Yeah,
like the fact that it doesn't, even so that because the two quirks are entangled, it doesn't matter if one is in one spot and the other one's across the universe. Once it's observed, the other one also has to, like, have the same, like, position in space, which is how they think that they might be able to do, like, weird travel things and stuff like that. Anyways, but, like, that's what it made me think of. And then I was like, well, couldn't other stuff be, like, quantum entangled? Like, crystal balls or something. But also, for a universe that's not into magic, that soul stone certainly sounded like magic.
There's a lot of things that are like magic adjacent, basically. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. But it did sound like quantum entanglement, and I wonder if maybe like instead of it being like a soul thing, like there could be other ways to like entangle items or something.
Ah, well then you'd get teleportation eventually, and
Well, we haven't figured it out yet.
yeah. Also, soul stones are literally just sending stones. So
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
This is just what. Yeah.
it's just
All right.
a
This whole
thing
thing
for
there
your
is
guys'
like-
benefit to be able to talk to each other eventually. But yes,
Yeah.
continue on. Sorry. You
right.
have everybody in the circle, and you now know all their dark secrets.
Okay. So, what? Oh God, we've been here for such a short amount of time. How bad would that be? Because, like, ironically enough, the easiest one does seem to be pet.
In
For
a world
one
with no animals?
Well, for one reason and one reason only. Locke, you said you had a bunch of creatures inside you?
Locke is going to look at you, and he's going to take his head of you.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything you could ask other than that, he would help you out. But
I was hoping they were like passengers and not like your internal organs is what I was kind of going for that. But I'm getting the sense that those might actually like keep you alive. So
What about a rock?
Right.
Rock.
I'm thinking
Like a really pretty one.
that could.
You can't kill it.
I do feel there need to be some stakes here.
didn't we have a frog at one
What?
point?
No. Oh, we did, but it was a statue or something.
Well, yeah.
What about, oh, I know what I need. Everybody? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I need everybody to just, I want to see like 3 perfect rows when I get back. I'll be right back, okay? What I'm going to go look for is a flower shop.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's alive. All right.
It's a lot, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
And especially because Ferris
Venus
needs this.
flytrap.
Venus needs this to work. So Ferris is going to be looking for. Venus flytraps are surprisingly hard to keep alive. Cactus.
Oh.
She needs something that is almost going to thrive from being ignored. It's surprisingly hard. But
Yeah,
she's going to get.
There is
gonna
a
get-
plant shop. It's not a
Yeah.
flower shop. There's a plant shop that is
Plant shop.
largely for like people making like potion-y kind of things, basically.
Right?
And yeah, go ahead.
And she's going to run it and she's like, all right, I need a couple of things. I need something that could live even if you completely ignored it for about 6 months.
I think that's me,
Like-
actually. Ask my husband.
Ugh, all right, I'll be back for you. I need a plant that can basically ignore. Why is everybody here? Okay, it's fine.
Welcome to Soul.
Yeah,
Or not.
I need
It
to
sucks.
bring like so many of my people here. I don't understand why y'all are like this. And then I need something that is going to thrive basically from overcare. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I got somebody who doesn't know how to take care of living things. So I need one of each. So if they accidentally kill one, the other one will make it.
Sound like my husband. One of our children didn't make it.
Seriously, I'm going to be back in like half an hour. You know what? No, actually, you're coming with me. You're coming with me.
No, I have to run the shop. There's customers
No,
here.
you don't. You have to come with me. Okay.
There's
So
nobody here,
she's
by the
gonna
way.
get-
Someone else here.
She's going to get the plants and she's going to take the proprietor and make
Locke
them
is
come
there
and
just
join,
watching.
and make them join the Knitting Circle book club.
Okay.
Because she doesn't know what else to do.
All right, so you.
She is also 100% going to forget to pay.
I'll go with and pay for her.
Right,
If
pay
there's
for
any
it.
sort of mushrooms or sketchy drugs, I'll buy those too.
Yes, there's definitely some very sketchy mushrooms for sure.
Hooray! Okay,
They're like
I'll
perpetually
buy those.
steaming. Yes.
Ferris
Great,
might actually
perfect.
pick those as the thrives for neglect option.
All right. Yes, you wanted a cactus. You said right, or something
Cactus.
similar.
If there's mushrooms, those would thrive with neglect, so she might pick
Wait a
those
second.
as well.
Yeah.
Wait, can we? Because we had the guy who made the topiaries, right? Does he have like a bush sort of thing that we could make look like an animal,
Oh.
and then just say it's sleeping?
There we
Because
go.
we have what's his name with us, right? Who like
Yeah,
did that?
Seamus. Yes.
Seamus,
We do have
who
Seamus
literally
with us.
And his job is to
made-
sculpt topiaries. That's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
into animals.
So
Animals.
the one that will thrive under like extreme care can almost be like oh god, what am I thinking?
There are
What am I
certain
thinking?
plants that
like ivy.
Like an air
overdo it.
plant.
Yeah, like an air plant. Something that
You can't kill an air plant. Try it.
I mean,
That means- okay.
yeah,
Um,
I want something like she can water obsessively every day, and it'll.
So
still
what is?
live.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm trying to understand where you're going with this. Are you
Those
trying to
hydroponic
have?
plants.
Say again.
Are you, go ahead. Sorry, I was just trying to
sorry,
figure
I
out.
was just saying hydroponics.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I was just trying to
lettuce.
figure out. So, Sarah, are you trying to like secretly give it to one of the people to give it to the other one? I'm trying to figure out what you're doing with it.
You
Possibly.
got a 2 for 1 there.
But for the most part, she's just latching on to what seems to be the easiest need to fulfill, mostly because in her world, the idea of getting a pet is probably fairly simple.
Oh, okay. So you're not trying to get 2 people together then?
Yeah, this
I thought-
isn't quite
Not-
this
Oh.
isn't exactly a matchmaking one.
Okay, that's what I
mostly
thought you were doing. I was like,
because-
well, how's that going to help? Okay, got it.
Yeah, mostly because like once she knows their needs, she's looking at this like we have to start small, baby steps.
Wait,
But
how is
the
this
fact-
the easiest? I think the
Because
other
on
two
the-
are much easier.
No, it's Ferris's mindset. In Ferris's world, getting somebody
Okay.
a pet would be like the idea that you would actually have to work at that, and like there isn't just some weird cat distribution system on her planet that everybody just magically finds living creatures.
Checks out.
So, like they're
Just thinking the
probably
squirrels
just giant, like because she lives on a jungle planet. There is a biosphere of some sort. It's probably very insect based, but
That makes sense.
Yeah.
like not
Also-
highly mammalian or anything. But the idea that it's hard to find a living creature to take care of, she probably thinks like, how hard can this possibly be? So, but plants, she's like, oh, we got to start small here, baby steps. So she's going to get this woman plants, and that way she can take care of them. And once she's confident she can take care of them, then she's going to be able to eventually take care of Bill. But we have to start small.
Ah, there we go. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Right.
Did
Alright.
Ferris share any of this or no?
No,
Ferris is
absolutely
just
not.
run off
Ferris is just
and
run off.
just following. Okay, great.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Ferris is not used to the idea that there can be negative consequences or that bad things can happen to her.
Okay. Yeah, Locke just follows, pays, whatever.
Yep.
He'll just be helping where he can, but
all right.
have no idea what's really going on.
No.
So you're going to be
Ferris has the
showing up.
whole third act played out in her head.
She's
Has
already
told
up the head, yeah.
nobody.
Okay.
All right. So you show back up at the bar with a very large
Probably a-
topiary.
A very
Shrub.
large ivy shrub that can be turned into a topiary, preferably one that will thrive with obsessive watering.
Okay.
I almost want to say it's like a decorative log that has mushrooms growing out of it decoratively
Yeah.
that can basically be set on a shelf and ignored, and is also drugs, but Ferris doesn't know that.
Yes, it is. I was going to mention that. Like, yeah, it's drugs.
Like, it's definitely drugs. Ferris has no idea. And she's like, all right. Oh, and she has brought the plant store owner with her as well and thunked her down because she's like, this person's a mess.
It's like, hey, man.
The more people
Hey,
that she
BB, how's it
meets, she's
going?
like,
What are you doing here?
need
Why
to-
do you have
I
a
need to
giant bush?
fix it.
What's going on?
So she's
What
going to
did
go
you
up.
say her name was?
BB.
Honey
Vax.
Drug.
Vax is the one that...
the owner's
the-
name was
the
called
store
is
owner.
BV.
BB?
BV. Like the letters B and V. But it's
Okay.
B-E-A-V. B-E-A-V-E-E.
B-A-V.
Just absolute nonsense on this chart, I swear. All right. Oh, look at everybody. He's done so good. I'm so proud of y'all. Oh, look at this. Just absolutely beautiful. Vax, could I speak to you for a second, please? Thank you. Oh, I love it so much. Look at your work. So I got a couple things here for you. I just thought you might want them. I really need somebody to take care of them for me. And she's going to hand her the log first, which probably is fairly small and decorative and pretty, and then just the giant shrub. And just like thunk.
Just full Guy Bursty Brood just pulled it out of your pants.
Yeah. It's like, how are you carrying that?
How? And first of all, she's holding like the knitting stuff, and she's like,
Yeah.
am I doing this right? And it just like looks like really wonky. It's just like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
things. Her
It's
arm is like tied behind her head. I don't know if
terrible.
I don't know if I did this right.
It is perfect. I see the vision.
Okay. Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
No, it's okay. Part of success is in the failure and doing it again. Trust me. At some point, you're going to be a pro at this. You're going to have spent 6 months knitting a sweater only to realize you accidentally knit the wrong size, and you're going to have to unravel the whole damn thing. It don't matter.
Sad, but also nice.
That's depressing.
Look, that's a real story, guys. Okay, it wasn't that bad. Because the other option is to make sure that silk cashmere yarn just stays there and then nothing happens to it. So you have to unravel it because you spent a lot of money on that yarn.
She's like, so I accidentally make presents for other people? Is that how presents work?
It is. In fact, that's the beauty of knitting, and it is, in fact, the key to the sweaters. See, there is a thing where I have to explain to everybody about the sweaters. Okay, so you can't knit sweaters for people unless you're married to them. Because
what?
If you... This is a real thing. This is a real thing. Real knowledge, okay? It's called the sweater curse. You cannot knit a sweater for somebody you are only dating. If you knit a sweater for somebody you're only dating, you will break up. But if they are married to them, to knit sweaters for them because they are stuck with you. Anyway, but she's going to go
Putting that in the notes.
Yeah, it's actually a thing. It's on Wikipedia. They have a whole Wikipedia page.
All right. Move on.
Okay.
Moving on. All right. So she's going to go and sit Vax down with these plants and have like a whole talk with her about care. And Ferris has no idea how these things work. But she's going to basically try to implant the idea that by taking care of these plants, eventually she'll be able to like find something that can move. She still hasn't seen any animals around here, so she's not sure what. But she's like, eventually it'll be something that you can take care of that moves around on its own, and then eventually you'll need to like have to feed that thing, and you'll need to learn how to cook. I'm going to teach you how to make the most beautiful pie, and eventually you're going to need somebody to come over and taste test that. And I think Bill would absolutely be the perfect taste tester for all of this.
That sounds like having kids with extra steps.
Probably, but still, it's good. You're going to trust me on this, okay? You're going to start with the plants, and then once they're thriving, you're going to find something that moves around. You're going to take care of that. Then you're going to bake the pie. You're going to invite Bill over, and you're going to write me a thank you letter after that. Trust me.
What's a thank you letter?
It's a letter you write somebody where you just say thank you.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know, right?
No death threats or any, no.
I mean, I would understand it came from a place of love, but not usually, no.
Okay, I suppose so.
Yeah.
And
Still
also
cut out the letters that way, though. People like it.
Recycling.
Mark gives a thumbs up.
oh no. And also, BV takes her like 12th shot of like basically whiskey, and it's like, also when the mushrooms turn purple, you cut them up real fine and you snort them. It's great. Max is like, that's what this is. You gave me It's multi-purposable, I guess, but that's good. That's good. What's there's you got me a giant shrub.
Yes. Where's
Hey, Seamus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why don't you take care of that?
Oh, not a problem, actually. I can get it taken care of in a jiffy. What kind of creature are you looking for? I mostly do birds.
Birds would be perfect. Could you make it look like... And Ferris is going to describe a flying creature from her home world that is definitely not a bird, but it's probably very similar to like a ladybird. Like a ladybug.
Lost to interrupt and be like, why don't you have the one who's taking care of it describe what bird they want? Maybe they're Ferris.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good idea.
And she's like, he needs to have fangs and big beak, and he needs to like have flames out of the eyes. And Seamus is like, aimed at the eyes and swords for hands. Okay. And he's like, just trying really hard. Like, all right. I think I got it. And he like just and it looks like a very terrifying looking like velociraptor slash pterodactyl. Sorry, not velociraptor. Pterodactyl looking creature combined with like Edward Scissorhands.
That's beautiful.
But those things need constant care to keep them to look like that. So Seamus is going to have to keep going back.
Well, I could use a job, honestly.
Sure.
I don't think I could go back to the last place. So I mean, like, I'm probably a contractor now for various places. So I might come back and for a small fee, take care of your whatever creature this is. I don't know for you.
Be absolutely perfect. I love it.
She's like, well, thank you. That feels weird. I don't know. Okay. All right. Yeah, I did it. I did it. And they're all like,
it's really easy. It's like Shank you, but you just put a T. I think you got this.
That makes
Yeah.
That's much easier.
Yeah,
Thank
right?
you. It helps a lot, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Shanks to you, too.
I'm so proud of the growth you've shown today. So proud of you. And she's, while they've been having this conversation, Ferris has completely fixed the knitting project, so she now has like 2/3 of a perfect scarf that she can just work on now.
Nice.
She's like, okay, and there you go. You're all set. I just know it's going to work out beautifully. It's perfect. All right. Next.
So Ferris has a partially done scarf.
Vex.
Oh, Vex does.
Vex,
Okay.
Yeah. While everybody,
Okay.
while she was like describing what she wanted the topiary to be, how they were explaining to her what the drugs were, Ferris basically took the ruined knitting project, fixed it, and knit like 2/3 of the scarf, and then handed it back to her.
Perfect.
Probably without her even noticing.
At this point, Locke, like, really confused what she's doing, is just gonna pull Ferris aside for a second, just be like, "So this is the fun and stuff, but like, what's the goal here? What are you doing?"
Well, they all need things, and I need to give them those things.
I mean, that's not. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. What do the others need?
And she's gonna kind of look at Bare Knuckle Barnes, and her eyes actually seem to like glow a little bit more golden in the moment. She's like, "Oh, we need to find his mama. All right, he needs to know." He genuinely does not seem to remember what his name is. I don't know how. Things are very confusing here. I do not understand anything's going on, but we need to find his mama.
Well, there's a book of names that I had to give women so they didn't find, to people, because I don't do that. So, like, maybe you could just look at that book of names. They have one around here, and maybe it's one of those.
All right, tell you what, that is now your job. And she's going to physically push Locke over towards it and be like, absolutely perfect. Thank you. I'm going to have to revisit that thing about women, I feel like. I don't. More pressing concerns at the moment. All right.
Don't worry about that. It's fine. Just focus on. No, it's fine.
Really?
All good.
God, nope, it went away. Can't hold on to it. All right. And then she's going to go over to Jane.
Okay.
Real quick. And for Ferris, this is actually probably going to be the hardest one, because the idea of being self-conscious is probably a very alien concept to her.
Okay.
So can Bungie go up to her and ask her what she's thinking, what she wants to do? Go up to Ferris.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do, Ferris? What you thinking?
She wants to be able. It's like when she was a child. She wants to be able to dance and not have people care about that. Why would people care, though?
So maybe if we all started dancing, she'd feel comfortable doing it herself. I can dance. I'm really good at dancing because I can just bounce all over the place, and I'm just really good at it. Do you dance too?
Yes, I do. We have so many beautiful dance parties at my place. Yes.
So I guess one thing that we usually do is, or what I've heard is, need to have music though. Maybe we could. That's a little bit tough. So I
It
guess
is.
we could just kind
We
of dance
we
without the
usually,
music.
yeah, like we usually just kind of listen to what we. So I'm
You know
guessing,
what? Sometimes when I
guessing
bob
there's
up
like
and down,
a
I make
type of insect that hums or something on her planet.
buzzes, maybe.
Like cicadas?
Yeah, or like buzz, or like
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
not quite like
Crickets.
cicadas, more like
Mhm.
crickets or grasshoppers or things like
Screeches.
that.
Hey, that actually begs the question: what counts as music?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because like rhythmic chanting, somebody being able to just hold a beat on like something that makes noise.
Yeah, it is kind of a
Blue
gray
Man
area.
Group.
I understand that's going to be an ongoing problem, honestly. But basically, you can't. Everyone's tone deaf starters, right? Everyone doesn't understand like how to
Okay.
like do like different tones and whatnot, and they can't figure out like complex rhythm, right? And it's more than just like a metronome kind of style thing. Like they can do it. They can do metronome like just like done, 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 but they can't like add anything additional to that. It gets too hard for their brains to process, and like they kind of lose it a little bit there. So,
Would that be enough to dance to, though?
yes,
Now, remind me again how that works with the Riffrunner thing. The riff, what's it called? The scroll thing that you read. What's
the
it called?
scores.
The scores. Yes, the score. How does that work?
Yeah.
Because the scores make music, don't they?
Yes, and you have to be specifically trained to read the music and play the music, and it's a very difficult thing to learn.
But is it
Like
real
real
music
life.
now?
It is real. The scores are real music. They're pre-existing music from before they lost the ability to make music.
And a skilled person can actually make music with it,
Yes.
or not?
Yes.
Okay, so
They
there
can-
is music in the world. It's just only specialized people can do it.
Yes, it's very rarely heard because there's so few of them. So it's publicly performed every once in a while. Like you mentioned in, I think the last one, there's a performance happening soon, basically, where they're going to be playing one of the scores for the public, right? So people have heard music a couple times before, but it's not very common.
Which would imply why you don't allow in our world recording
Yeah.
of audio.
Yeah.
Because that would blow that, wouldn't it? Unless you had some magic that made it so that whenever you recorded it came out blank. Kind of like a ghost in a mirror, or a ghost, you can't see them or something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yes. Anyways.
So what
So-
Ferris is probably used to is things like crickets and grasshoppers and possibly even like little tree frogs kind of thing. And that's probably what her people have developed their dances to. So it's probably a very like square dancey kind of idea where there's like one person who calls out the moves, but there's a very set of steps to it kind of idea.
Makes sense.
which I
Like they
kinda
used
have
to do a long time ago.
Line dancing.
Yeah, it's line dancing, square dancing, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to say that Bungie could, when he hops up and down, when he unsprings and springs, it could make a noise. So that it could be like a rhythm that they could dance to, like a little clatter or something, bong, doing, doing, and that with the buzzing of the sounds
But I
that,
think for the most part, people are probably used to not really having
right.
music when they dance. They just
Right.
kind of find something, and I think that's probably why it's not like how we think of as dance, but probably a lot more like set ritualistic dances, things like line dancing, square dancing, and any of like the Regency era form a preset pattern
Yeah.
kind of
same
idea instead of like slightly more interpretive, which is like what we think of as dancing kind of idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ferris is probably more than able to like grab Bungie's hands because he's able to like stretch up to be like as tall as her
Yeah, sure.
or close enough.
Yeah.
And she will start leading him through like the steps that she knows from her world. probably from the Precious Moments picnic ones. So for her, it's probably very risque. It's not risque at all.
Yeah.
But in her mind, it really very much is. And once she thinks Bungie has them down, she's going to kind of push him off in the direction of Eloise to get Eloise in, and she's going to grab Barnes's hands
She says no.
and start leading him through the steps as well. I basically try to get
Dancing is not ladylike. She will not participate.
So I'm guessing that
What if the
Bungie,
way that she moves offends somebody?
so Bungie gets the hint from Ferris. Bungie goes to Eloise and is trying to do what Ferris is trying to get him to do. And now tell me what Eloise does when when Bungie tries to grab Eloise's, say, hands. What does she do?
Stares at him point blank, unmoving.
So try to pull her up from her chair, and what does she do?
I don't think you can.
Right. So he's pulling, and all he's doing is he's walking back like he's pulling, but his arms just stretch.
Yeah.
Ferris is going to give her sister the eye.
I don't think you understand that you're the younger sister.
She definitely does not.
She just stares back. No, thank you.
Ferris's eyes are going to start to well up with giant tears.
Aww.
Oh, fuck.
So who's the one who wants to dance? That's Jane, right?
Yes.
So is Ferris going to Jane, or
no?
are you going to
Ferris
somebody else?
She's going to Bare Knuckle Barnes first.
Okay.
And then when she's taught him the steps, she's going to push him off in the direction of Vax. And basically,
right,
she's going to try to teach everybody else first.
Right.
Before
yes, because she needs to be the last one. Jane
she
does,
needs to
right?
be the last one,
Okay.
so that she doesn't feel self-conscious. She doesn't.
Is Zaz still in the room?
Zaz is there, yeah. He's currently cleaning a glass and watching from behind the bar, just fascinated, what in the world is going on,
So Bungie wants to go up to Zaz and try to get him to dance and stuff.
I was gonna say that once Eloise saw that Ferris was gonna cry, she just stands up suddenly, but is just barely doing what the move
Okay, well, that's good.
Good enough.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
You immediately see that it's almost like the tears. It's almost like gravity ceases to exist. The tears literally well back into her eyes, and she has the biggest smile on her. It's terrifying. But yeah, Ferris is going to go from person to person and make sure and each time push them towards somebody else who's not dancing to get them to come up and start dancing and get everybody else in this bar dancing.
And I would think Locke would be into this, right?
Locke is meanwhile going through his book of names.
Oh, that's right.
It's the Barnes person, right? Who's a man?
Yes.
I think.
Yep.
Okay, so he's just looking at him. He's like Locke, Zret, Zeggery, Zag, Menon, Riggs, Rip, Titan, Griffin,
He's just
Maxifon,
shouting
Bluff,
names at him.
Dredge, Acid, Rockin', Sculpted, Sketch, Slip-On, Culprit, Gravy, Yaxley, Dick, Swiss, Grizz, Turk, Bobbert, Grimsley, Grimgore, Prig, Craft, Crack, Surg, Drick,
I'm gonna stop you.
Pistol Pete, Prickly Pete, Haven, Harbin, Wentworth, Jig, Herbert.
So I'm going to stop you, and I'm going to tell you to put all of that into. I want you to number all of them, and then roll a random die, and that'll be his name.
Oh, you son of a bitch! All right, fair enough.
No, you're the charming.
I thought you were going to be like, the chances that one of these names is right is based on a roll of a D100 or something. So I was like, I'll list as many as possible.
Is going to be his name. I don't know how many you have, but put that. Pick the number, and then put that into a random number.
I thought he was looking for his. I thought he's looking for his real name, right? I thought he was looking for his mother's name, but no.
Ferris's only idea was to find
yeah.
his mother because she would have named him.
Got it.
And just be like, what is
Locke was like,
name?
I have a lot of fake names, so
yeah.
maybe one of those is a real name for him.
And Ferris already had so many things on her plate that she's like, I can't deal with that one right now, but I feel like I need to revisit it.
Hmm.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back to your thing in a minute then, Locke, for the name. Once you
Okay.
kind of figure out what
Yeah.
the name ends up being, I'm interested.
Yeah, all right.
But yes, Bungie went up to Zaz to try and get him to dance, and he was like, "Oh no, I don't think so. I can,
Ferris, tears.
I can. Here's the thing: best I can do, I can give you a beat. That I can do." And he's like, I'm pretty sure. And also remember, there's like 30 other people in this bar that
I
have
was
been
gonna
like
say there are
staring
30
at you guys.
people.
Oh yeah, like and Ferris
yeah.
is getting all of them to do
And
this.
he's like, there is one thing we can all do that might be helpful. And he begins to like slam his mug on like the the bar, and he gets everybody else is like, yeah, like that big like almost like sea shanty like thumping kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like they've all been
Like they did in The Greatest Showman, right?
Yeah, because they all do this like for like people like the chug, for like so like they're used to being able to do this, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime anybody tries to refuse to dance, Ferris is somehow right behind the person asking them with just tears.
Just
Somehow in two places at once sometimes. It's
So-
amazing.
So Bungie has read lots of books when he was in prison, and he read about that people when they're at parties and stuff, they dance on tables. So he's gonna get up on the table and start dancing.
Okay. Fantastic. All right, so you managed to get all of your group, I assume sans Jane's at the moment, dancing, as well as like two other random people that were also there that will go unnamed for my own sanity. Yeah. And so you've got a decent, I mean, and like you've had like all like the chairs and like the tables pushed back to sides and whatnot, right? And you got like a good old like square dance thing kind of going on basically at this point.
Yeah.
And that just leaves Jane basically as like the last person.
And as soon as she's gotten as many people as like in between bouts of just tears, getting people up to dance. Eventually, have we figured out Barnes's name yet?
We're almost there.
All right.
I, of course, did not pick an amount that it would be useful, so I have to hang on.
You gotta use
Yeah.
Google for the roll any die, and then you type in the number of the die.
Roll 20.
Well, yeah, I rolled 20. Yeah, I
Oh,
just
that's
need
right.
to put in the slash.
That's right.
Yeah.
I chose 41 names.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
do I,
I
win
just would've done
something for
Excel.
being?
What?
How did you?
Huh?
Excel would do it. Yeah.
You put it in Excel. It's super easy, and then you could do a random number generator.
In Excel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
you can do it.
I
Yeah.
did not know
I
that.
gotta open in Excel and
That's a lot of
Yeah.
work.
already work.
Do you have it written down on paper or
The
something? How
name
did you...
is Menon.
Menon?
Menon. MENO.
Menon.
MENON. Okay.
Menon.
You can
F you Menon,
pronounce that.
not Menon.
Okay, great.
Oh, he's
So
Men in
as
Black.
soon as
Oh my God, can it be Menon?
His name is Men
By
in Black.
Menon?
Yes, my name is Men in Black.
Menon. Yes, Menon.
Oh my God, great. All
As
right.
soon as Ferris hears that Locke has succeeded in the task that she gave him, she is going to, once again, it's kind of just, you're not even really seeing her move. It's weird how she's just kind of everywhere at this point, right behind them, and she's going to grab Menon and be like, you need to go ask Jane to dance right now, all right? If she says no, she won't say no. Just go. Ask now.
I'm
go.
so
And she throws him, and then she is going to grab Locke and just start swinging him around like this is like her hero moment of the song and
campaign.
dance kind of thing. The whole
whole
campaign.
The whole campaign.
Campaign
Yeah.
is over. We've succeeded.
Basically,
She
I
had.
was an XP.
XP, do you get?
It's like somehow
Locke will
miraculously,
dance
like
with
gold
her.
sparkle. It's like gold sparkles are somehow falling from the ceiling on the two of them. It's yeah.
I feel like we have a little moment
there's-
between Ferris and Locke here that is unexpected.
Mostly Ferris, but yeah, somehow hearts are appearing in her eyes.
I almost said Barnes. Lennon, there we go. Menon, sorry, Menon.
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 Come on.
Menon gets thrown to Jane and then kind of like very awkwardly like begins to dance with her, and then she kind of like gets into it as well and be much more into it than he is, and like everybody else, and she has like this big old goofy smile on her face. Which is impressive because she had like a big old scar like all across her face. Like,
Yeah.
And then Locke gets on the table and he's like, all right, everyone, let's do the dagger dart. And everyone pulls out a knife and starts like doing the dagger shuffle. Everyone knows it. Basically, you just stab kind of in a rhythmic sort of motion.
Oh dear.
It's
To the
the
left, to the right.
I think you
This sounds
Also
like
known as the
a
Shank
mass
shuffle.
attack waiting to happen.
Oh my.
Ow! Sorry. All right.
Ah,
Person goes down.
Someone
Like,
forgets to turn the other way, and they
Take it
just
back
straight
now,
up
yeah.
stab someone in the stomach.
Right.
one shank this time.
And since what I'm assuming BV really just kind of needed was a good drink away from that shop for a little bit.
yeah. Like, this is great.
I'm
You
kind
all are crazy bonkers. I love it.
I'm kind of assuming they're just better at this point.
It's fine. You can't fix everybody's problems all immediately. It's fine.
Look, you don't understand. It's like an itch inside my brain.
So we've
sounds like a
only been
medical
here for like
condition.
what? We've only
Neutral
done this for like a day or two, and we're already starting to make all of Zol a happier place.
Yeah, somehow.
It's gonna be like your
Um,
guys' is like, you know how like a lot of times like D&D parties leave like dead bodies in their wake, you know, like, oh, there's a dead pilot over there. You're gonna be like, just,
Right,
like
right.
look at the cops and you're like, oh, there's more happy people over there. All right, we're on the right track.
On the right track.
There's more weirdly decorated and happier people over there.
Right.
Okay, we know where they're going.
Like,
Feels so
what do you
festive.
mean?
You know where the-
What do you mean you suddenly have emotional intelligence? What?
Right? Emotional depth over here. Okay, so, and I will say, just for simplicity's sake, that you guys are going to leave them to their own devices mid-dance, basically, once you kind of like set them in motion, basically, as you kind of like Mary Poppins slip away. Not that you've fixed Mr. Banks here, and
So Locke will 100% try to steal that tree thing, that stump, because she's already got 2 plants. You don't need 3.
sure, why not?
All right, great.
Fantastic. Okay, so
As she is probably quite physically dragged out of the bar, probably either by Eloise or Locke, Ferris will kind of yell back in. Don't forget, we'll be doing this again Wednesday. Everybody, I want to see progress on those knitting projects, and I'll have our book picked out by then, too.
and I was like, what happened to my bar? What have I become?
Is about to become his worst nightmare.
All right, so we're gonna move on to someone else's thing now. They wanted to do now that Ferris has taken an hour and a half to teach people to dance. Love it. I love it though. All right, so I know that we'll do a quick and simple thing. In theory, I don't know anymore. That was both, and we're gonna go over to Bungie wanted to look for spare parts and ways to kind of like fix up himself and like add little pieces to himself and whatnot, right? I don't know if I want to do a whole thing for this.
That's okay. Yeah.
But there is a vendor that is selling primarily parts for Karami, because that is the main thing that makes sense, you know, that is similar. However, they also have some stuff for artificials, and the proprietor is an artificial himself, and his name's Arn. And he is, for all of you guys, because you are all D&D players, he is a Warforged, because they are still around. They last forever.
Oh.
And he cannot mutate with the water if they don't drink water. So they are still the same, which is very interesting. So, but they don't call themselves that anymore. They're just called artificials. Very few of them. They're very far apart. This is Arn.
Or a synth. Or a synth.
Or a synth, sorry. It's a synth. Yes. That's the new, they're called synths. I forgot. That is the new terminology coined by Bungie. That's right. And also...
Coined by the DM or the GM, but yeah.
That's true. Either way. You said synthetic and I said synth. Whatever.
Right.
So, also, it won't matter to probably anybody, but it matters to me, because Arn is a pre-existing character that in D&D that Pop you might know, and he's played by Matt from our previous campaign. He was the first character that I played with Matt. So his character's still alive and well and going strong. So, anyways, that's a little Easter egg for myself. So whatever.
So he survived the
apocalypse,
the cataclysm.
Yes,
apocalypse.
Look, it's not all about you guys. Sometimes it's also about me.
Right.
And he is able to hook you up with whatever parts you're looking for.
Right.
So, is there anything in particular you're looking for?
So one thing is that my springs got kind of stretched out, and I'd kind of like to get them back together again. So maybe you got some tool that I can use to like respring myself.
Oh, absolutely. We definitely have that. We have a respringer, actually. It hasn't been used in years or centuries. But yes, I'm pretty sure it still works just fine. And
Okay.
it does able to like uncoil them and put it back around, all that stuff. So yeah, get yourself up in working order.
So am I buying it, or is he just doing it to me?
Yeah, you pay for stuff. But
Okay,
remember, you
yeah,
don't,
alright.
we're not using small units of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a small time service.
Yep. Okay. So something else I've noticed is people like to have me like throw them around and stuff. I'm just wondering if you could if you have any like bumpers that I could put on me that would kind of act like when they run into me, they'd bounce off. You got anything like that? I'm thinking like a pinball machine.
You want to be a pinball machine?
Yeah, like that. You got anything like that?
I mean, I can probably make something. I think. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I can make that happen. Yeah, for sure. 100%. It's not the weirdest thing I've done. Believe me.
Okay.
And he's able to turn like your like chess piece into like a upspringy thing, basically. So it's bouncy. You're even more bouncy than before.
So I was just thinking about how people could just jump at me and they'd bounce off and go up to the next story or something.
Also, it makes a cha-ching sound now when it happens, though.
Oh yeah, cha-ching, cha-ching, yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is not great for stealth missions, I will say. But
not super what?
Good for stealth missions.
Right. Probably not. I have to turn that feature off. So.
Awesome.
Right. Okay, so that's good. I feel like a little bit more in shape now. You know what I mean?
You will have to insert quarters though in order to use it. So just a heads up.
Oh. Okay.
Or washers. That also works too. You can cheat the system by using washers.
Washers.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure about if we do anything mechanically with health or anything like that, because I was thinking we wanted to probably rest and relax and stuff like that. So.
Yes, that is the next thing.
Okay. Okay, so besides that, I did want to look at some newspaper.
Yes.
Well, I should wait for that or do that now.
Sure, we'll do that now. And there's a newsstand nearby as well that is run by Antonio, which you guys might be familiar with from one of the previous songs.
Antonio.
The extra read all about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's the one that's reading off all the headlines right now.
Okay.
And he's off, saying, all the, How's Lawrington's string of misfortune continue this week? And all that stuff as he's reading off some of the headlines to try and, solve the papers. So you are able to pick up a newspaper, and it does have all the headlines that you have heard out of character, because it has a couple days worth of news in there. And you guys are featured without being featured. Right.
He's basically looking to see if he's famous or not, or that kind of thing. He's looking to see that, and also just kind of looking through to see what's going on in the area. Mm-hmm. So does he actually see this thing about the gala or whatever it is?
Yep. That is front page news right there. That's a big deal. Zol has not had a score performance in like 20 years. So it's been a minute.
So I think I want to show that to Ferris and just say, hey, look, this looks like maybe like a party. What do you think?
And Ferris is gonna kind of take it and read the article like, yeah, it is kind of like what we did at home. We never, for some reason, we weren't really allowed to like have this kind of like celebration. It seemed to think that it might cause a bit of a kerfuffle about stuff, but yeah, it does. Like people getting together and just having a good time,
Yeah. So
yes.
when it's a couple days away or something, right?
Yeah,
I forget now.
It's a undescribed number of days away, depending on how long it takes you to get there. Yes, I won't give you a day.
Got it.
It's
Right.
easier that way.
Yep. Yeah.
It's
So we should plan
So
on going.
that kerfuffle, Locke comes over, hearing you talking about kerfuffle. It's a street name for some drug.
So no, it's so like we have a lot of visitors, that come and see us, and we have like all of our celebrations, which I really do need to take y'all just to show you. I think you're gonna really love it.
The Bungie interruption just hands him the newspaper and just points to it.
Yeah. And there's
Because he's going to take forever.
but this kind of specific one, like the Nesmen who kind of like control who can come and go from my shard, they said we can't play scores there. They're really worried about the effect that might have on everybody. But
What kind of effect?
they didn't say. I'm not really sure. It was never really. We just
Wait,
kind
do
of.
you think if we went and we listened to it might be dangerous?
I don't know. Because I've never heard one.
But we should go.
I mean, I'd love that. I love parties.
Some
yeah.
danger, I'm in.
But yeah, I'm gonna say like they probably just are not allowed like any of like the official musical scores on her world because the emotional reactions people
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I was
tend to have
guessing.
there are
Yeah,
so
that's what I was
big.
guessing. Yeah.
Interesting.
But Bungie didn't quite get the innuendo there.
Because there are so many like just big moments on her world, especially with the ideas about love that they have there, that the what do they call the EV? Is that what they're
EVs.
EVs, yeah.
have probably decided it's just much safer to tempt fate and have a musical score to any of these weekly movies that are playing out on her world. It's like if we give them actual music, this is going to become a real thing, and we just can't have that.
I didn't get the innuendo either.
Because think of that big romantic climax in every romantic movie and the music that is behind it. It's a powerful thing.
Right, think about a world that has no music, and then you're putting the Hallmark planet, and then they actually start playing music.
Yeah, it
The horny Hallmark planet.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, I actually discovered something recently. Like, I am the kind of person that isn't like. I find music that doesn't have words, like orchestral music, really like. I like it, but it's not like emotionally moving. It's usually the words that are emotionally moving. But my counselor said that no, for a lot of people, the music itself without words is actually like emotionally moving.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I remember the first time I heard the Star Wars music, and it was like, whoa, that was just.
It's why they talk about like they joke that they're like generational triggers, like depending on which generation you are, all you need to hear is like the first 3 notes of certain pieces of music, and you can like the big ones are the first notes, Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. Just
I love that song.
Right, but if you just hear just those 3 notes at the beginning of it, especially people around my age who were into that music, we have like an immediate, we lock in immediately to that. Another one that's really popular is the Falling Leaves song from Avatar. Where
okay.
Dun. Yeah.
Talk about songs that make me cry.
Yeah.
But you don't even need, but there's a certain point where you don't even need the words. You just need to hear those first few notes of the song, and your brain fills in the rest, and immediately tears.
Well, see, my brain doesn't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brain doesn't either.
Mine does.
And I love music. I'm the kind of person that gets goosebumps all the time. And like when I need to cry, like I'll put on music that I know will make me cry. But if it doesn't have words, there's not like an emotional connection outside of like, oh, I just really like the way this sounds.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Okay, so
Well, just because we were talking about music and like the emotional like responses, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so so you guys have the newspaper, copy of the newspaper now, and continuing on with the whole reading thing, we're gonna. Eloise wanted to make a trip over to the Library of Zol, which is uptown. That's in Twilight Harbor, because they don't read really down in Hip Market that well. So, and you're able to check out a couple of books basically, which you will definitely return before you leave, I'm sure, like good citizens. That is about Zol, which I have already linked to you guys, because it's so long, it's not that bad, but it's quite a few pages. That has to do with the history of Zol, which has to do with primarily with like the cataclysm that happened. That's not like the one that happened a long time ago, but the one that happened specifically on Zol 30 years ago, where almost everyone died, and it was like 3/4 of the population died, almost, and all of them basically being dregs, because the awakened people don't need air to breathe all the time. So when the bubble basically popped, that was the safety net for Zol, because too much dust had been extracted from the shard, and like the barrier went down. It kind of just sucked everything out basically into space. And I think what else I can do just a very brief summary. Oh, I also have a notation about the wraiths, which you guys either have already met or will meet in the future. Yeah, how time works in the interlude segment, where you very briefly got a glimmer of that basically. And a little bit about like some of the history about how they don't really know what they are specifically, but like there's some like some theories and whatnot about them. But they know that they're very, very dangerous. They're very, very big. I also put on there the stuff about the Zolians, like physicalities and whatnot, as well as some of their powers, about like the soul shaping and like their ability to commune with like spirits and have like alter egos and stuff like that, right? I also have a whole page on the Karami anima, as well as more about like kind of like the trapped souls of Zol, and the reason why soul shaping knowledge has been like restricted, and why they are considered a cursed shard, because of their ability to potentially, not commonly, but potentially shape and control the souls of people, which is very bad. And then I also have a breakdown of the 3 major factions of Zol, one of which is the EV, which isn't really a faction of Zol specifically, but it gives a little information about that. So you have Charon's Clay, Graveyard Gamble, and then the EVs. So that's just like the brief rundown. You guys can read as much as you want, whenever you want, about that. I didn't want to like just sit here and read like 6 pages to you guys, and have you just be like glass-eyed, just like, but she wanted more information, so here you go. So there's a lot more information about those things there, which you may find interesting or helpful in the future. So
are these things that are not common knowledge, or
they're in a book library, so I mean they're common-ish. Yeah.
I see. Yeah,
it's not like they're known a lot outside of Zol necessarily, because people kind of are pretty insular between the shards, right? There's not a lot of like shared knowledge between the shards about cultures and stuff. Usually, there's a little bit, but not much. So yeah, this is like historian account basically from Zolians about Zolians, not from an outside perspective. So also as part of this, Eloise, you also did some digging both in the library and also, I would say, probably before with Zaz, because Zaz is like your underground informant like connection basically, right? He's your link to like the criminal underworld basically here, right? In terms of, you were looking for Pomperosi, which is your people, and you were seeing if any of them were basically shipped to Zol, right? And so you wanted to find out, because you guys, your people are used as in experiments and as lab rats and whatnot, or potentially as like soldiers and stuff. And it doesn't look like there's any on Zol, because they have that kind of market already locked down by the Karami. Basically, they have a spirit force that does it for them basically. However, there was rumor through the grapevine that there were shipments to 3 other shards that you're not familiar with, but you have a name now, and I'm going to go ahead and drop that into Discord real quick. You guys can add that to Roll20 if you want to, or whatever. And that's Fallujah, Trindor, and Helvetica. So that's Helvetica with an R. And they are not places that you're familiar with, which isn't terribly surprising, considering that you guys are all pretty, like, sheltered. As is most of the world, honestly. Pretty sheltered. But you have a name, at least.
How many, Trevor, how many shards are there?
Unknown.
Do we know that it's at least more than 10?
Yes.
Okay.
There is estimated, because the problem is that you only know another shard when you find a score to get there, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to navigate the expanse.
It's kind of like how many islands are in the Pacific Ocean or something.
Kind of
Oh
worse.
my god, so many.
But like worse, because like
to begin with, you don't know about any.
You can't just sail around the expanse until you hit something. It doesn't work that way. Because you don't have enough fuel to do so. The only real way to travel between shards is via the drift, which is with, the score. Basically, you use music to open the portal, go through the drift, and then you basically like go into like a different dimension for a while and pop out somewhere else. But it's not like a linear space-time event.
But there's no like map of the shards because
there is a rough map of the shards that puts them in. They've basically figured out like, they've kind of like somewhat triangulated, like, you go this way to go that way, and that way to go this way, and you can kind of get a rough idea for like the general like makeup of them. But they also do move constantly because they're like drifting through the expanse. So it's kind of relative. But there is a map, and there is estimated to be around, at least known, there is around 150 known shards. With more being discovered usually once every like couple of years or so. Usually they're like pretty like minor discoveries where it's like, there's one over here that's like no one's there. Right? A lot of like places that like were never anything, or there used to be something there, but then it's been hundreds of years and the people died off or left, basically. That's the majority of the new discoveries lately have been that in the last like 50 years, unfortunately. But yes, now I'm just rambling about lore. I'm sorry. I'll continue.
But like, ironically, Ferris is probably the only one who's met somebody from a different shard before this point, because she's from a tourist planet.
Right.
For
Yes.
but even then, it's probably only 3 or 4 of like very wealthy ones that can afford to travel there. So it's like.
And you meet individuals.
A couple.
Yeah, and you meet
but
individuals
even then
from shards, right? Not like
Yeah.
their whole cultural experience and like all that
Yeah,
stuff. Right?
absolutely. It's people come to indulge in her cultural experience the other way around.
Yeah. You're the only tourist-centric shard out of the entire group by far. I would think that maybe Lox comes like, I would say super close second, but like it is more of a trading hub. So they're going to have a lot more than most. With Eloise is going to be much more very closed off. And then you have Bungie's that's pretty isolated, I would say, overall. Just for no particular reason, just they don't have a big export, basically. And there's not a big trade thing, so they're pretty self-contained. With also they have a bit of a civil war thing happening, so they're kind of busy. But yeah, anyways, so that's just a quick little possible lead for you to go off of. That doesn't mean there aren't more in other places, but that's what Zaz was able to find for you for those 3 locations. And you also wanted to engage in some R&R to try and help heal the mind and heal the soul and heal the body in particular. And Eloise, you mentioned that you wanted that your form of like rest would be some sort of like Zen martial arty kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like yoga, but slightly aggressive.
Yeah. Aggressive yoga. Hot yoga. No, goat yoga.
yoga.
And you're able to find for the group, you're going to drag the group along for this so that everybody can benefit from it, because Ferris dragged you all to the dance party. So you're able to find a class of what is called Embrava, which is a slow martial art that's all about kind of like controlling like the flow of one's spirit and also the path of your shadow, which is very interesting. And this is held by Zen Master Wei-san. And you're able to come to the class and begin to like channel your chi or whatever it is called, you know, and yeah, to kind of like get the rest of the group kind of like in the physical space with you for once, right? They're more of like the socialites, and you're more of the I punch things. So you kind of bring them down
The
into
only
your world.
proper way to express any negative emotion.
So
It does seem like a theme with you, doesn't it?
so break me
what are
off.
those names one more time?
Zen Master Wei-san.
And then what was it called?
It's
The
Imbrava.
Martial art?
I will drop that also. I can copy paste that. There you go, and you can drop that in.
Okay,
Or
great.
if you want to put that on
Oh, dang it.
20. It's spelled way like the thing you drink when you're at the gym, yes. And so Eloise, kind of break me off a little piece about kind of what that experience is like for you to like bring your people into that space with you, right?
Wait, what was that question?
The question was like basically like tell me a little bit about what it's like when you kind of like bring the rest of your group into that space with you, right? You know, like what are you telling them? What are you doing with them, right? To kind of like bring them into like your more physical realm here, right?
Bungie would ask, is this something you've done before?
Sort of. It's about grounding and connecting to your body and kind of how to the brain is a muscle, so like resting it.
I think resting is always a good thing.
Yeah, it's just connection to your body.
Yeah, Ferris
Like,
doesn't.
yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Ferris probably doesn't get that this is supposed to be like a fighting thing, but she is going to really embrace the fact that this is a chance to like spend time with her sister for the first time.
I mean, it doesn't have to be fighting. It's just that when Eloise is trying to kind of go through the events, she always feels the need to move for her, like meditation, basically. And so she chooses to do it in a way that's like practiced and allows the body to just kind of move, fluidity.
And it's probably one of the few times that Ferris is not constantly chattering to everybody and everyone, and instead is just like very focused on watching what her sister is doing and trying to emulate that, so to try to like connect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure she really likes that. She won't show it or say it.
That's it. Don't worry.
Right.
Conceal, don't feel.
Basically,
that was
violent
worst
Elsa.
advice.
More violent Elsa.
Yes, she's a violent Elsa.
Right? It's like, hey, why do we have this person suppress all their emotions? That could never go wrong. God. Still one of the best movies.
One of the reasons is that she's hoping that everyone can kind of not repress, I guess, but like, to her, well, she thinks that everyone needs to learn to like manage, I guess, their emotions
Or control.
because if she does something like she's like, so in her culture, she's worried about offending people, but then also that everyone has to manage their emotions so that they're not like having negative responses to things. And so she's like, I'm doing my part. You guys need to learn to like not get like, relax, I guess, or like stoic a bit, maybe. Not saying that's correct, but that's what she's thinking.
Yeah.
And this all comes from her shard, because you have to hide you have to suppress things on your shard, right?
Yeah. Everyone collectively is responsible for the health of their society, basically, and their shard.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Eloise should like share a little bit about like that connection, because like this is very like tied back to like her roots here, right? So maybe she could like share with the group a little bit about that.
Yeah, she probably would, I guess, maybe struggle a little because she's never had to completely explain her shard to people. everyone's just always like known about it. But yeah, she might,
I
just casually mention that,
I think-
if you aren't careful, you could cause the death of everyone you love and know.
I think hearing that and watching what her sister's trying to teach her, Ferris is going to try to intuit what her sister needs.
Ooh.
It would be hard because I don't think even she knows at this point.
And I think that
she also recently found out that everything that she's known and like worked for betrayed her and her family.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be a real grounding moment for Ferris because Ferris is used to small needs.
Simple things.
She is simple things that she can usually, step A, B, C, fix. And the fact that this is probably the most complex emotion / need she's ever encountered in a person who isn't, they're not like actively hurting for it, but it's, this might be like the closest to like a sobering moment for Varys where she's like, oh, the universe might be bigger than I thought.
I mean, I could tell you that her probably current like surface need is like a new compass.
Yeah.
And how to find out that the compass is like it's the right compass.
Moral compass you're talking about, right?
Like too, huh?
No,
You're talking about like moral compass, or you're talking about
Yeah.
like direction of where you should go next?
Yeah, like how do you, like on your own, kids, think of it like a super collectivist society. So like, how do you on your own decide what it is that you should do or what it is that you want to do and if that's right or wrong or if that matters?
Yeah. And I think as that kind of hits Ferris and she's realizing that what for her up until this moment has been business as usual, like she's, for lack of a better word, playing. She's realizing, oh, we're going to have to become her compass.
What?
Not just Ferris, but we're going, at least temporarily, we're going to have to give her she's already
like a purpose, right? Or
yeah.
Like the idea that 4 people who are basically strangers are not like, no, for Ferris it's like absolutely we're already a group, we already are tied together. We need to make sure that we are now her compass. So that's about to become how Ferris is going to try to fulfill
Well, that's a
that
good thing
need.
based on some of the compasses of the other people in the group. And she also is definitely going to be like,
The fact that these are 3 very different people and when Kel is there 4 very different people and this is not going to go well probably isn't going to occur to Ferris, but she's like, she needs a sense of community. We're going to give that to her.
Awesome. So as you guys kind of finish up the the martial arts, feng shui, qigong kind of like thing, as you kind of like go through kind of like the somewhat more heavy hitting stuff, the conversations you've had, I would say probably thus far, right? You get a little bit deeper, you kind of wrap up and you head out from that. Also, you guys are going to have and get your health all back on your character sheets. So go ahead and recover health from having emotional depth.
How does that work?
You just reset your health back to maximum, whatever that happens to
Oh,
be.
okay. I didn't know if we had to roll or
No,
something.
there's no rolling. You just there's recover or not. That's all there is.
And there's no button
Yeah,
No
there's
button
not.
for
So
that says long
you-
rest or
yeah,
anything
you
like
can you could accidentally go beyond that. So
Could go beyond a plus ultra. That's true.
careful.
Sorry. Had to.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it actually lets you set your health above your limit.
I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. Yeah, as like a temporary thing.
The
or
sheet,
something. Yeah.
the sheet does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Locke, is there anything that you're wishing to do right now?
So what are my options?
I mean, it's pretty flexible, but what did I have listed here as part of the downtime potential options? Let me
You
see.
had like random skills. You said carousing. You said information gathering, but we're not really sure what we're doing next.
Yeah, well, I mean, you also do information gathering with the library and getting those information about Zol, right? You don't have a specific direction for it, but you have a little bit there. But yes, if it's no,
I mean,
go ahead.
I don't know if this is possible, but like, I guess trying to find out information on someone who's trying to maybe like heist a Perenni anima, or like how to like potentially get one of those.
Okay, you want to try and see if you can get a job to try and steal one or buy one, because you do.
I'd say to steal one.
Because you do have
but,
money. Remember.
yeah, but that's no fun.
Interesting.
That's not the way luck rolls.
Is to keep the money. That's how you have the money. You don't spend it.
I mean, I guess I could just buy it, but
Like, how do you think rich people stay rich?
I mean, or Rod would want to like find one that was being mistreated by someone and then just steal that one. Honestly,
Okay.
but
I will say it's hard
it's
to
probably more likely.
steal
but-
Karami because they're usually pretty much bound to their owners, and so like they're gonna be loyal to their original owners unless they have like
very charming.
unless they are like intentionally passed on through like an official process where they're able to like kind of reset that bond. Because they are animals, but they also are machines, and they are given a like code, basically like internal coding, a little bit, to be bound to the person. They're soul bound to them, basically, and they have to.
So I'd have to buy one. Pretty much.
You usually have to buy one unless you kill the person who owns one, which you could do as well.
Are there any?
But,
I don't
Are
wanna
there
kill
any
someone.
like I want to say like little ones, like cheap ones or something that that aren't.
It's,
We're not looking. I don't think he's looking for something to use in combat as much as it's just some little. I don't know, like a gerbil.
Oh
you
my
know what I mean?
God, Pokemon!
What?
Space gerbil.
Oh, Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Oh, sorry. I said, oh my God, Pokemon. Again!
Yeah,
Pokemon.
yeah.
Always back to Pokemon. So you can get smaller ones that are like less functional, right? They're not like for a specific, like purpose. They do ones that have ones that are like basically just for pets, right? Like for for Twilight Horror people, and they are usually smaller in nature, right? They are going to be like gerbil-ish size or like bunny size. Is
Or-
there good?
I realize I have animals inside me. Is there a way like I can make them like combine? Is that a thing?
So, okay, yes. I don't know if you like the answer for this, though, unfortunately. So,
They like lose their soul probably. or
you have to
something?
remove their soul and put it in the machine.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
I don't like that answer. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you might be able to put it back eventually, but that means you have to preserve their body somehow, right? If you're picking out their soul,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm.
So, I mean, you can, but yeah, it means you basically have to kill the thing first and then transfer it over. So,
Okay. I would be looking for some sort of pet that could be somewhat useful, and maybe because I can talk to animals that breathe water. Although I don't know if it's soul bound, does it still talk to you? I don't know.
yes,
Do you need that?
the Zolians
okay.
communicate to the Karami directly. They can speak to them.
So you're looking for like a goldfish?
Well, I'm saying more useful than a goldfish, but maybe a bird or like a,
A
I don't
water
know, what
bird?
sort of creatures I don't know.
They have usually
What
like
do they
they're
have
usually
for
like
sale?
Oh,
like what's up?
what if something like a really tiny monkey? Pirates always would. Those were like the two main things that pirates took: either parrots
monkey,
or monkeys.
Yeah.
What if we got like
And if you had like
know,
a specific,
monkey?
Skill already has a parrot, right?
It's a
He has
it's a
a- he
bird.
has-
It's
It has a
parrotish.
A bird, yeah.
Hold on.
It's a
The
very
specific
colorful
one
bird.
I'm thinking of here.
But a monkey.
about a flying monkey.
What's a capuchin? Boy, I can remember.
It's like a
I know,
tiny
right?
monkey.
Hey, Mikey.
Oh yeah, here we go. It was like
They're
a
cute.
pygmy marmoset.
Pygmy marmoset.
Hmm.
You're gonna need to draw a picture in the Discord for me of that.
Yeah.
But also, a lot of times on Zol, in particular, the Karami end up
Terrifying.
being a hybrid of two different things because they can, right? They give it the soul of like one primary animal, but then they give it the form our partial form another as well to give it additional like features or traits and whatnot. It's kind of like how you have like tons of different kinds of like dog breeds and whatnot because they're so easy to breed. You make different things, right? Same thing for this, but it's way easier even. So yeah, the tiny little
Do
monkey.
they have like set ones?
Technically,
you
that
have?
photo is a baby, but they don't get much bigger than that.
So do you want a monkey combined with something else, or do you want something else entirely?
Well, I thought you just have like ones you were like they have this or this sort of
Nope.
thing.
I'd
I
have
mean,
a
I could
list.
come up with something.
Yeah, this is how the game works. This is how I don't have a list. I don't have a shop list.
So you said something about it wanted to be able to breathe water, right? I mean,
Well, I thought, but yeah, if it can already talk to me and it's mine, then that.
Also, Cromie don't need to breathe, so you can get one that's more
okay.
water friendly. Yes, for sure. You could have a fish monkey.
Yeah.
You have a sea monkey. You can have a
Sea monkey.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
That's amazing. All right.
10 out of 10.
Sometimes we collectively have a brilliant plan that just happens out of nowhere, and I love it.
There was
Yep.
single brain
Yeah.
cells when it got there.
So you head over to. Okay. Do you want one from Crypt Market or do you want one from Twilight Harbor?
What's the difference?
The Crypt Market ones are generally they're called spliced because they're black market and they're usually more exotic, more volatile sometimes, and they usually often have more free will as well. Whereas the ones from Twilight Harbor are much more for like their big high class paying clients that don't want any like shenanigans, basically, right?
I'm confused why this is even a question.
Yeah,
I know the answer to
Like,
that.
as soon as you said
Does everyone know the answer to this? I feel like you
Yeah.
probably do.
the answer to that.
I asked the question so you can give me the answer that I knew you were to say. It's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the first one, the more volatile, dangerous,
Yes, you're gonna go for sure.
the one that's not really cared about as much. Like he wants kind of I guess the equivalent of the one that's like if it's missing a leg sort of thing. Like the one that nobody really wants.
Okay.
Or maybe it has like a shorter tail or something.
Sure.
A weird eye. I don't know.
One up. He's got an eye patch.
One eye.
Oh
is
yeah,
perfect.
can you get an eye patch? There you go.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, so you go over to one of the Karami anima vendors, and he has his back to you as he's talking to a small group of people, and you hear him saying as you approach, "And that's when I set up this grand Olympic for the gods and had them fight each other. But really, I was helping create a team of 10 of the most skilled heroes this side of the time slipstream. Oh, God, I crack myself up sometimes even just thinking of it. Oh, hello there. I have letters to sell if you have the coin. Qubits. How? Can I help you?
Ferris is not sure why, but she wants to hit him. She's never had that feeling before. It's very odd.
Hello there. I'm Locke. What's your name?
It's not important. What can I help
I
you with?
like the answer. I'm looking for a friend.
A friend? Well, aren't we all? We're all looking for friends. In all the wrong places, unfortunately. Sometimes you make friends and then they punch you in the face repeatedly. Anyways.
Yeah, that happens to me. Or they
Right?
throw you through a plate glass window.
It's usually the women, isn't it?
Yes, it always is. Oh,
This is definitely
You
when
get
Ferris is
it.
going to come up and be like,
Oh, hello there. You remind me of someone. I'm not sure why.
it's so weird, isn't it? My dear friend here, he is looking for a companion, preferably one that will not kick him through a plate glass window. I don't understand why people keep doing that to him. He is lovely.
He is lovely. It's very true.
Aw,
You're a gorgeous, man.
that's so nice of you.
Yeah.
So I have
thank you.
quite a bit of selections here, as you can see, but I'm pretty sure that I know just the right thing that would fit you just perfectly. And he is going to pull out the sea monkey. The one-eyed sea monkey.
The one-eyed sea
One-eyed sea
monkey.
monkey. That's just like it's a little feral looking. Like it's just like.
I'm kind of like going back. I'm imagining like season 1, episode 1, Pikachu,
Oh.
who just refused to get
A
in the
one
Pokemon,
eye,
who just
like
refused to get in the Pokemon.
feral.
Constantly shock dash.
right.
just angry.
Very temperamental.
Yeah, Locke's gonna put out a finger to it slowly.
And it's
Be
gonna
like,
just go,
hello.
"Hi," and just bite on the finger, and it's like it does that sometimes. Unfortunately, it's a sign of love. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna go with that. That's
Is
at least
it?
that's what I hope, because he shows his fingers; they're all like chewed on.
Can Locke be bitten?
Not really. He's kind of fully made of water.
Yeah.
Right?
So this is perfect. So,
Would he start would he start leaking water?
I guess, yeah. I guess a little bit, and then it would probably like kind of form over it again.
Yeah.
It seems very confused by
Probably
this.
actually more likely he has like this octopus that is this like terrifying sort of crab octopus thing. Probably one of its tentacles would like go over and kind of like poke at the thing through his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like into like little bat at it. It's just like
Ferris has gone fully hard-eyed, like her, just full-on anime girl heart eyes at this little critter.
And Locke's gonna be like, what's its name? Does it have a name?
see, that's for you to decide. I don't take the
Oh.
liberty to do that. I make sure to not give them names because it's easier when they leave me. No. All right, and you'll have a happy home with you, I'm sure.
I mean, I think so.
But only if you name him right now, in front of me. I have to know.
Only if I what?
If you name him right now in front of me, before he
I have
goes.
to name him right now in front of you?
Yes.
I look at the little guy really close and I'm like, is there something you want to be named?
Oh, you can talk to him, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If he's like a water thing, then yeah. I can talk to water creatures only. Other creatures I can't. So
Guess it'll count as a water creature. Yeah. All right, it's fair.
yeah.
And what the heck does the sea monkey sound like? Shoot.
I know.
I was imagining that weird creature that's just like
Because you can talk to something doesn't mean it has anything to say or any thoughts.
that's true. It's
No,
more
but that's
fun
not
to make
fun.
Trevor try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, think of more
So,
from
like-
Madagascar.
So on the outside, you guys are hearing like this little cute, like, but then Locke, what he hears when it talks though is, "Name me whatever you want, fool. I do not care. What everyone name me is fine with me.
Oh no.
I will bite you. If it's bad though, I will bite you.
Ferris,
It better not be
Ferris
Steve.
is
Do not name me Steve. The last guy trying to be
Is
Steve,
just
I ate his face off.
is fully on hard eyes at this thing. Like, oh, he's just the most darling little thing, isn't he? Look, you know what you need to name him? Stock.
Doc?
What did you just tell me?
Lock, stock, and barrel.
Oh.
Or
What about
name him One Eye.
I have a terrible
Uno.
name. You're gonna be one. You're gonna draw attention
Name him
to my
Uno.
deformity.
You'd be Dick Deadeye, right?
or if you wanted to be mean, name him Dose.
Dose.
Oh, like two.
Be mean.
Well, because I said Uno, because he has one eye, but then you could be like, nah, Dose, because you should have two.
So after he doesn't like the options that were presented, we'd be like, okay, what do you want to be named?
That's a cop out, man. You gotta name me.
Errol?
The man saying you gotta name me, so you gotta name me.
Oh man. All right.
If
How this
you were
works.
gonna ask him if you were gonna name Sea Monkey, what would
I
you
look
name
at
him?
And I stare at him. I'm like, machismo.
I hate you so much.
Machismo?
Ferris is
Yeah,
immediately
well,
right
isn't
there
it-
trying to like feed him like a little tidbit of something like, oh, it's so perfect. Hi, Machismo. Aren't you just the most adorable little thing?
I like her more than you.
Well, I mean, everyone does. But you want a
Saying it
different
wrong
name?
on purpose?
Machizo. I am the
Put
mighty
it in
Machizo.
Discord.
My mama said I never amount to anything, and she's right. I don't even have a mama. Just this stupid cat over here.
I came up with 3 names. I didn't like any of them.
I think we have determined that he's not going to like whatever name is. You can
Yeah, it's
probably
like-
anyways. So
Yeah.
you can just pick something. The vendor's like, okay, you do have to pick one of them though. So which one are you going to go with? Or
How about
different one?
Mr. T?
Mr. T?
You like that name? Pretty
Mis-
fancy.
This is all right. You have named Mr. T the sea monkey. I will put this down in my ledger, and I will be sad to see him go. He was a good friend that we had many fond memories of together in the last 7 days that I've known him. Okay, it's fine. All right, I'm back to no, can't do that still. Nope, loop doesn't work. Shit. This. I'll be here doing this for a while until I find something else to do in my life. Good luck.
How'd you start doing this?
Well, you see, I used to be an adventurer like you until I got an arrow to the knee. So, yeah.
Ferris is gonna start wrapping a scarf around him.
Oh no.
It's like it's the only thing she really knows how to do, but she's also fighting this weird urge to like push him. And she's not sure where it's coming from, but it's like, okay, all right, yeah, I can tell you're very, very sad. All right, here's a scarf. Let's go, everyone.
Do you have any therapist?
What's this guy look like?
He
look like a Zolian?
No, he's not Zolian at all. He is feline, and he has a big hat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, odd. Okay.
How very odd, I know.
Different.
Yeah, very different.
Has anyone?
He has wares.
Have we met any feline people? Have we met any feline people before? Or is
No,
this
you have not. You have not met any
Okay.
of his like before. Yeah,
Okay.
in theory.
Ambitious.
And
Keep on giving this creature new names until it likes one finally.
I love it.
Keep on changing it.
And he's going to also he talks incessantly, and he
no.
mostly
There's
he
two of
mostly
us.
shit talks you personally all day long.
Right, because all we hear is this cute little piece, right?
Yeah, chewing.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like honestly Locke likes it.
Fantastic. So,
Ferris is just constantly there trying to feed it.
just like no. No. As you guys are kind of going about your day here, right, and generally minding your own business as much as you generally do, as much as you can mind your own business.
Ferris does not know how.
You hear a commotion down the street. On one of the multi-car trams, a group of lamplighters is getting into a scuffle with a group of enforcers in one of the crowded cars. There is shoving and shouting and cussing, and then a loud bang, and it turns into an outright brawl. As the tram nears, something drops off the side and explodes, and the tram veers and swerves dangerously and becomes out of control. There is a high-pitched squeal of the brakes, followed by a pop as the tram stops slowing down and begins speed again. A couple cross streets up, it begins down a hill as it heads down the street you're all standing on, crashing into things left and right. One elderly man that is not yet familiar, with a cart piled high with greens, shout, "My arugula!" as his food cart is obliterated and he is left standing there and gives a deep sigh. "Oh, shucks, not again. Dang whippersnappers again. You ruled the day. You crossed old Earl." And the scarab on the front is screaming at people to get out of the way. And the people on the tram of the cars are also screaming and clinging for dear life. One jumps off and hits the ground and hard and rolls into a food cart nearby and slumps unconscious. The two groups on the tram continue to still try and duke it out, however. A young boy eating a dessert on a stick next to you, Locke, tugs on your shirt and points, "Hey, mister, is that guy dead? You know, they say your soul stays in your body for 12 seconds after you die." And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight. Everybody.
Wow.